Wu-Tang fans, chill for a second. We're not doing that today.
Exactly.
We're doing something else. We'll get back to that in a minute.
What do you mean?
We're not
That's
talking
right.
about.
But the RZA is here.
Yeah,
So what?
No.
I want to know what sample was used for ice cream.
No, stop it. They're still working on the particulars of how the Wu-Tang reunion album and all of that, and the art album and the $5 million. They doing all that. We'll get to that later.
All
right.
That's
Next time.
But rest assured, Wu-Tang fans, there is dialogue. All right. So boom, new show. Fox
Network. Not no FX. Not no
Don't piss
subsidiary.
FX is
No.
dope.
No.
FX got dope shows.
I love
RZA.
FX.
Right.
I'm
We're
just
on a major
saying.
network.
I'm just saying. We're not on a subsidiary.
Got it.
You
This
dig
network
it? This is
TV.
the network. This is something that's supposed to be on cable, but they
it's on.
put it on 9 p.m. Thursday nights on real TV, and it's
Gang related.
It's like a movie every week, yo.
Wait, so the RZA, introduce your brother right here with us. He said he was from the Y. I recognize your face, but what character did you play?
I played Ronaldo. I had cornrows, so that's probably why you don't recognize me.
Ah,
Yeah, you could. It's my brother, Ramon Rodriguez. You could check him out from The Wire, from Charlie's Angels, from Need for Speed,
Transformers,
Battle LA. He's an actor, brother. He's
yeah, but he's not just like a regular actor though. He's crossed barriers in acting that a lot of male actors have not gone. He was a gay lover on The Wire.
Oh yeah,
Indeed,
on The
I
Wire.
was.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Indeed.
So
I
I've
That was Omar's friend.
They were more than friends.
They're more than friends.
They was
lovers.
in love, my G.
Talking about Michael K. Williams, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've never interviewed Michael K. Williams,
Michael,
so this is the
we
first
killed for
time.
each other.
This is the first time. Yeah, I've interviewed
Not
gay
many
people
people can say
before, but
that.
not somebody who's acted
Acted.
gay.
breaking ground right here.
So just real quick, I know
We
as a
have to touch
man,
on the
I've
subject.
never kissed a man.
Okay.
Did you like it?
You know, Michael and I never had the kiss, but straight talk on the first day of set work, and we had to be butt naked next to each other.
Wow,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
that's some real man shit, though.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's such a big deal though. He's an actor, so he's
Correct.
supposed to be able to do everything, all kind of characters.
I couldn't do
Some-
it. That's
some
all I'm
can't.
saying.
Yeah.
Some can't.
Well, that's why he's a professional.
He's a professional.
That's why I said he's next level.
What's that one scene in Get Rich or Die Trying? When they was in the shower, kid,
Oh, yeah.
with
With Terrence Howard and
with the choppers.
Yeah.
I mean that was a crazy scene right there. But if you most
Butt
people,
naked wrestling in the shower
Yeah.
with Terrence Howard and 50
with,
Cent.
with razor blades. You know what I mean? That's see, people don't. A lot of people haven't been locked up. They haven't been to Rikers. They haven't been to Brooklyn House. You know what I mean? So they don't understand the intensity of how life was going through those phases, and they show that on the screen. So when you're making a movie or you're making something to display, you know, reality, you got to drop a lot of barriers.
Yo, but I'm gonna take it next level. I go to the Equinox here next door and take showers. I be butt naked in there, and this is right here in the West Village. You know it goes down. You know what I'm saying?
You be in the
I'm
steam
on
room
the
with a
edge.
towel.
I'm on the edge right here, my G.
Being naked next to a man and playing a gay lover is different. It's still different. I could act. If I had to act and be naked, I would do it. But kissing another guy, I don't know. I would feel weird.
Well, he said they never actually, and I don't recall, but you never actually had to
we
kiss.
never had to. We never.
But
did.
listen, hold on.
Embrace.
But if we did, it wouldn't have been a problem. Straight talk. It wouldn't
You
have been
good.
in it. Well, it's a character, and
No.
if you're gonna play the character
You gotta go.
authentically,
That's what you gotta do.
can't hold back and say, "Oh, I'm not down to do that." How could you do that?
Or don't sign that. I haven't signed no characters like that. Those characters, I'm not good at those characters. I'm not good at those characters. I'm good at what I'm good at. You know what I mean?
Right. Would you, RZA?
I won't be able to do it. I'm not good at that character. So I only take characters.
Play your strengths.
Yeah, I only play with something that I can do. You know what I mean? Something that's because like he's a trained actor though. You know what I mean? I'm learning.
But so you're admitting that you have limitations as an actor, that he's at a next level.
Well, he's the lead actor of the show. You know what I mean?
And it's gang related on network television. What nights?
May
on Fox?
22nd, Thursdays at 9:00.
And
May 22nd.
What's the
Fox.
show about?
It's a lot of things, man. But one of the things is it follows a cop who is in the LAPD, and we end up finding out he's giving information back to his family that's a gang. But every story, every character has interesting stories like that, where there's some dark shit going on in their background. You know, RZA's got his own backstory for his character, but mine specifically, Ryan Lopez, he grew up and was raised by a gang, and then he joins the LAPD. He's giving information back to the gang. So he ends up being torn. He's not sure which family he's loyal to. He starts getting closer to some of the cops. starts getting, Cassius is his partner. They start developing a friendship. Other people, and it's tough because he's having to lie to all these people that he gets close to give information to protect his family.
And people are dying all around you.
All
too,
around.
though.
Yeah.
Well, the best way to kind of compare it to something, there was a movie that was called The Departed.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
So that's the best way to think of the foundation of it. But then it goes crazier than that because you have our captain, Sam Chappell, who's played by Terry Quinn. You may know him from the Lost series. He's been a cop for 30, 40 years also, and he's also like, he's tired of all the gang violence, all the drugs and everything. So he's like, yo, you know what? We're going to start going deep on them
by any means,
because cops are
to
getting killed. It starts off the first episode. I'm not gonna give too many spoilers because you're supposed to watch it, but in the first episode, he has a partner, Detective Tanner, who gets killed by a gang member, and it's like we're like, yo, like one thing I learned about doing this particular role, because we get to hang around cops and they consult us and make sure we're doing it right, is that a cop goes to work every day, right? Risk his life, and he just wants to get his paycheck and get home to his kids.
I say that all the time.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't ever think of that. But the gangster too, the gangster goes to work every day. He wants to get his cheese and go home to his family.
Yeah.
So they both have a very similar life when it comes to the reason why they're doing it.
Right.
And there's no limits to where they would go. And doing this show was a eye opener for me because I'm like talking to Jesse and all the other cops, and they're like, yeah, when we come to the neighborhood, we come in like, yo,
They're hated on, like.
No, but we come into like, yo, we come in like we going to war. We coming to kill.
Right.
Not like that, but we don't want to.
We may have to.
Yeah, we may have to kill. We don't want to
That's
go
their
home.
mindset.
We don't want to go home without one of us. You know what I mean? Somebody's not going to make it home. He got to go to his wife like, yeah, John didn't make it.
Yeah.
No, they don't want that. But the gangsters are the same way. Yo, because I grew up on that side of the streets, you know what I mean? So you're like, yo, I just want to get my money, get home, and that's what it be. And you'll do whatever you got to do. So it's a really strange dynamic. And this show really digs into that. And his character plays both sides. So he's right there starting to like his captain, starting to dig his partner, but yet he grew up with this family of gangsters. And they like, he has to protect them too. So it's a very twisted
But it's dope
tale.
because it shows how like even the cops, like what they'll do to when they want to take out these cats in the hood. And so he'll do dirty stuff. It shows both sides. And then you'll see some stuff from the family side, from the gang side that you go, you know what? That was honorable. I understand why they're doing that.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare for the role? Like to be a cop? Like did you have to shadow like the police for a minute? Were you hanging out like a lot?
He was
with
on a
them?
ride
Like,
along?
Yeah, like how do you? Yeah, were you riding along?
Yeah, well, he did more ride-alongs than me. You did like 6 weeks of ride-alongs, right?
Yeah.
I
6
did,
weeks?
Yeah, ride-alongs and surveillance and a bunch of other stuff.
Wow.
That's cool.
and I also hung around cops. I actually got a good friend, a cop, a New York City cop, John Lugo, who came out to California, spent some time with me, and he would give me all his cop stories. And his father was like the lieutenant at One Police Plaza, so I kind of picked his brain a little bit about the mentality of what it was, and then we had the weapons training with the SWAT team.
It's
and all
funny,
that.
right? RZA was like, yo, he did more ride-alongs than me. RZA was probably like, look, fam, the ride-alongs I used to do.
I was in the back of the car.
I can't just like, you know what I mean? Just
feels
tell
weird.
me, I can't make the
Feels weird
transition.
being in the back, but my hands is free. My hands is loose.
Look, I could do this here. What's going on here?
Yo, Fox, man, they've been pushing the limit too on the graphic nature of the content too on Fox.
Yeah, they have.
So how have you guys seen any of the edits? Like, I prefer like what they did with 24 and some of the other shows that they go there a little bit with the violence and the gunplay and things like that. Is this show go there a little bit? Have you seen any of the footage after you've taped?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're definitely pushing the envelope. You're gonna see a lot of that type of stuff, and even stuff that's not even it might not even be graphically like violent, but just the nature of the show, it exists. Is dark. It's a dark show.
Yeah, I think usually you would see this show on the cable
It would just
or
absolutely
the movie theater,
Yeah.
but Fox is actually. I
going
think
with it.
yeah, they're going with it. I think the country has grown a little. We've they want to compete, of course, but also I think that TV is just the audience have grown a little more where we could show more. I mean, in episode 1, there's a scene where the villain Javier Acosta, played by Cliff Curtis, he has a guy tied up. The guy eyes
Yeah,
like
man.
beat down, bullet holes in him, and he just gets the meat cleaver. He's about to go to work on this kid. It's about to be tortured. It's about to be sore. You know what I mean?
But people thought that was the most violent scene. Like they tested it, and people were like, "That was." But he never even does. He never even lays a hand
The
on him.
suggestion,
The intention
though, yeah.
of what he's
you
about
feel
to
it,
do.
right?
Yeah.
So now both of you guys being from minority backgrounds, you're from
Boricua.
You're
From here.
You're from New York.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, we have a long history with the RZA. We know where he's from
Yeah.
and the music and everything. But yourself, what part? Where you from in New York?
Lower East Side.
So you grew up around some of this as well. Not that you was in a gang or anything like that, but the Lower East Side back when you was growing up, I mean, it's nicer now.
Nicer.
Nicer.
Where?
For sure.
In the
For sure. Right
projects?
now, it's lovely.
You
I was
were in
done on Avenue C, Times Square Park. That was my
Oh, yeah.
park.
That
right
was
there.
whew, that was needles.
That was deep.
That
Yeah.
was everything was
Everywhere
happening
needles
over
popping
there.
up. Yeah, it was
boy.
crazy over there.
So, but you came out of that. Did you have any family members that got lost in the sauce as you was coming up?
And friends, yeah, absolutely. That's just, unfortunately, that was the neighborhood. So that was what we were all surrounded by.
Did that help you in your role?
I mean, it helped me. It motivated me in life. You know, basketball was the thing that got me away from just living down there, and so that got me out of the city.
Into college?
Yeah, I played ball in college, and then that's actually what got me doing what I'm doing right now. I did some Nike commercials back in the day that popped off.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
Nah, I don't play ball. Right? No, seriously, I'm whack on the court. I said in one of my old Gravedigger lyrics, 6'2", still whack on the court. So I stalk New York with a black pitchfork. But we have an episode where we gotta play ball.
Yo, wait, time out. What kind of racist? Just because he black, he don't play basketball.
Yo, but it's so funny. But I didn't know how good this dude was. No, he's one of those Rucker Parks or Washington Square Park. You know. West Fourth, trick the ball going on, the ball going all around his neck.
You still nice with it?
Yeah, man, I don't go west like riding a bike.
Yo, this dude is. Yo, I was like, oh,
You still play a lot? Like, do you get, you get
Yeah.
that urge to go play?
Oh, I have to. I keep a ball in my car.
And on set, it was crazy because on that day of that episode,
That was hilarious.
man, this dude, but you was just. You wouldn't let the ball go, kid. You just was like, yo,
Nah, but I knew because I knew. I was like, I didn't want. Listen, to be honest, I didn't want him to. I was like, you just admitted
want the RZA
you're
to
not
look
good. I don't want you to look. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this right here, but then they were like, we need to see him make a shot. And I was like, I got this. Here we go. And I would choreograph like a little play. Boom.
Yeah.
I bounce it. He lays it up, and I'm like, my man, he looks like a star. They cut it up. He looks like like Kobe or Carmelo.
So yo, when you see the basketball scene on Gang Related, no
Movie
RZA
magic.
look like trash.
Well, no, as an actor though, you gotta practice with, before the scene. So I took time to, hang out with him and like, me just try to get a few moves together. But listen,
He's so honest though.
But listen.
That's why I love it. Honestly.
No, but
He's
listen.
so real about it. He's like, yo, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Just
but
don't.
it's
don't,
a
don't pass the ball.
black, all black guys should be able. The one thing about the show that's kind of funny to me is that there's a lot of stereotypes that we all have. Like, you think Puerto Ricans or Latins or Mexicans know how to fix cars, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But his character
Right.
don't know how to fix cars.
Exactly. And so this is the chemistry a lot. We throw back and forth
Yeah.
throughout the whole show. He's throwing stuff about
Yeah.
Latinos. I'm throwing stuff. I'm like, yo, why don't you know how to sing?
Exactly.
Can't dance my chick.
Well, so but we have a lot of fun doing this
Yeah.
show, man. And Jay Hernandez, you may know also. Jay is a fellow New Yorker,
Yep.
He's on the show. We got Sun Kang from the Fast and Furious. Alan Hughes, the director of
Menace to Society, Dead Presidents.
He's the director
One
of
of the Hughes brothers.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah,
Hughes- exactly.
He rocked he's the executive producer and director of the of the,
Oh, I
of
was
the
gonna
pilot.
ask who
Yeah.
was behind it. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
we got
now.
also Chris Morgan from Fast and
Chris
Furious.
Morgan.
writer.
Yep. Scott
Brian
Rosenbaum, who
Grazer.
wrote The Shield. Who's
Scott
involved
Rosenbaum.
with The Shield.
Yeah.
And then Brian Grazer, who's done a ton of stuff.
Yo, I
And
met
the
him.
show takes place in Los Angeles.
It's all LA based. Yeah, it's LA based.
Yo, Fox, bring that back to New York, man. Come on, what's happening?
When they brought a New Yorker in, they was like, yo, listen, because when they first wrote the character, I played Cassius Green, and he was first written as a LA guy, but then Alan was like, nah, I think the RZA is the guy for this role. So he's like, yo, we'll change some of the backstory. So now I'm actually a guy from Harlem that moved to Cali.
So you still got that New York flavor.
They asked me, what kind of car would you drive? I said, well, really, if a kid from Harlem maybe went to Cali, he might want to get an OG ride.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we go out there, you want to live different. So I got
Yeah.
me a 69 Road Runner. Yeah.
Okay,
You know
all
what I
right,
mean?
all right,
I'm in there
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? You got motorcycles and all that, but, you know, I try to act like what
Nah, it's
a
a
guy
dope
do.
ride.
Yeah, it's
It
a
was
dope
classic
ride.
ride. Yeah.
You know what
Yo,
I mean?
Fox is bringing it to you. What's the date it starts again?
May 22nd.
All right,
9
so
o'clock.
set your DVRs, whatever you got to do to prepare. Make sure you tune in because you know that DVR skipping the commercials that can hurt the ratings a little bit. So make sure you tune in and catch it live.
Exactly.
It's
He's
on
on.
Fox. Ramon, the RZA.
Yeah.
It was a great honor to speak to you, man.
Nice
You
meeting
know what I
y'all,
mean?
man.
RZA always welcome.
Yes, sir. I just
to
want to say
come
one
by.
thing before I go is that we come on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. So that means you can watch us before you turn to Scandal. All right? You can watch us at 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then your girl could take over the TV set because this show is definitely for girls and guys. But check us out at 9 p.m. on Fox and then
He knows how to
switch
sell
on
it.
over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what, Rizzy? You've been very honest. You can't play basketball.
Bong bong.
And you don't think you're capable of playing a character that could kiss and fall in love with a man.
Bong bong.
You know your limitations.
I know my limitations, kid.
Hot 97.